Hello everyone, Kalive here, and welcome back to Ark Survival Ascended, the island. And in the previous episode, we went into the swamp cave and got us some levels and also some decent gear. I did find a couple of pretty nice things in there. I think I showed you that in the last episode. So in this episode, I wanted to continue cave prepping, and in order to do that, we need to go get some water dinos. So the best place for water dinos is actually the center. So I'm going to go over to the center and I'm going to look for some water dinos and start a base there. So this is where we are right now. So we've made it to the point where I'm actually getting stuff from Scorched Earth because the videos have finally caught up with that. So this is the dragon that we have, and this came from Scorched Earth. If you saw my last episode of Scorched Earth, this is the dragon from that episode, Fusion. And so it is tied to my character. And also, we have been breeding some theries. So we're kind of getting a pretty decent amount of eggs from these things. They just throw the eggs down, and this guy picks them up, and we can just grab them. And we stick them in the Gigantoraptors, which I think I have one out right now. Somewhere. Maybe not. I thought I had one out. But yeah, we stick them in the Gigantoraptor, and Gigantoraptor will get them to the point where they will hatch, and then we'll just go ahead and hatch them out of there. And we also have some Rexes, which have not been breeding too much. Not too sold on the 38 damage. I guess we'll see if I can find a better one. So that's kind of the updates for that. What I need to do is actually go and run over to Scorched Earth real quick, and I want to show you that base. I did do a full rebuild of the base. Left off with that base being completely torn down from the old character, which is gone now. And I just want to show you that little base real quick so that whenever we get to that point where we're over there looking for specific dinos, then at least you'll already know what's been done over there. And same thing goes for center. We need to go to center and we need to establish a little base at the center. So I don't want to do a whole bunch of like just building on one episode. It's going to be really boring, I believe, but at the very least I'll just show you the center map and where we're going to build at. And we're probably going to go over there to grab some water dinos because that's probably the best place for water dinos. There's a decent amount of them here, but the levels here are terrible, so hopefully we can find a nice basilosaur and maybe some other dinos that we might need for the water. So let me go over to Scorched Earth. That server is up, and I'm just gonna put this guy in a cryopod, and we'll just go over there as is. We don't need to do too much else. I think we have some water on us. Yeah. So I'll see you over there. Alright, here we are in the Scorched Earth base. You can see this place looks, I guess, a little bit neater if you think about it. It's just a little more compact, and I don't really have a bunch of stuff laying around anymore. I have these vaults, and that kind of houses everything that we need. So we can grab stuff from there. We also have our dinos. So these dinos are from the previous character, and we're going to use these since, you know, we did all the work. So I'm not sure I'm going to bring over there. I still have to look through these things and kind of figure out what I'm going to bring over there. I don't need a bunch of dragons. That's not really beneficial at all. There's not really any water dinos here. The only thing I might actually look at is the Rexes, because ones we currently only have 38 damage. These have 41 damage, so it might actually be worth getting the 41 damage Rexes and bringing them back. And the only things we actually would probably grab would be some of these blueprints, because we do have a pretty good Rex saddle. We have this 58.4, which is fairly cheap to make. It's only 400 metal, and this actually should be pretty good to craft. And then I think we also have a couple of other things in case we want to use, like a Phasalasuchus or Gigantoraptor, stuff like that. We can do that. I don't think there's any other ones that we would probably need. Like, I don't think we got a Theory saddle. Oh, we have Megatherium saddle. So yeah, that's something we might actually use. So I don't think I have a Megatherium saddle, although this is kind of expensive as well. Cementing paste is kind of a pain to get. It's not that bad on this map, but it is a little bit of a pain to get. So I might actually go farm this up, probably off camera, and just go grab this stuff. I'll probably do it on this map and then just drag the saddles back over there. So those are pretty good saddles for the Megatheriums. Now that we have a center map access, now that we can transport back and forth between different maps, it does make individual maps a little more important. So this particular map, the Scorched Earth, is not really beneficial to a lot of other maps. Mostly just beneficial for itself. And like I said before, this is definitely one of the better maps to get the Rexes on. So if we need to keep farming up Rexes, we can go over there to the Rex Triangle and farm up that area. And the only other thing for this map is the abundance of oil. Probably the best oil map, and it's also probably the best chitin map as well. This will use Scorched Earth to get resources that are unique to this map, such as like sand and also the silk. Those are going to be two big ones. And there are maps in the future that you can use to get those same resources. But sand and silk are going to be pretty big, especially if you're wearing desert cloth and you're also using a whip. So those are definitely two things you really want to utilize now that you have access to them. So you spend time on different maps doing different things, and each map has its own benefits. And if you are playing at a cluster, it's definitely good to bounce between maps and do certain things on different maps. If you have that ability to do that, if you're playing in single player, you can always switch between maps. It's a little more of a tedious process, but switching isn't too terrible. What we'll do now is actually go over to the center map, and I'll probably start building over there because we really need to get into the water and get some water tames, at least breeding, so that we can get into those caves on the island map. That's a very big part of the island map, is the caves on that map. And we'll do that, so we'll go ahead and hop over there. So I will see you on the center. Alright, here we are on the center map, and I did spawn on this island right here. So this is the island with the blue obelisk on it. That's the obelisk right there. So I did bring the wyvern. I'm not gonna take any chances. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna establish a little base nearby the obelisk, so we get on the center and back off the center as quickly as possible. So the best thing to do is probably to build near the blue obelisk. This area though is a bit of a pain to build on, so I'm probably not going to build exactly by the blue obelisk. What I'll probably do is I want to build an area that we can also raise up dinos. So we want to raise up some water dinos. And there's a pretty good spot right in front of the blue obelisk. There's an island right here, and in front of that is a pretty nice little water area. So like right here is a pretty good spot to actually raise dinos. Let me just hop off here and drop some stuff off here. I brought a lot of stuff, probably more than I need. I brought some scuba stuff. I did bring some Trank spirit bolts, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So what I want to do is switch over to this gear. Let me turn off some settings. Alright, so from this point you can just go into the water here. This is actually a pretty decent spot to raise up some dinos. So you need to watch out for those Vactinus that they have around here. You can raise a lot of things in this little area, and it's pretty much walled off. There's a few spots where things can get in and out, but there's a lot of these little coves that you can repurpose into places to raise up water dinos. So this is one of them. There's also one on the back side of the island. That's a pretty big cove, so I'll show you that one as well. Alright, and here's the other cove that you can go into. This one's pretty deep though, and it's pretty big. It takes a lot to wall it off. But you also get some stuff that spawns in here. Like I believe that's a Bacillo. Yeah, what level is that Bacillo? Level 130 Bacillo, nice. And there's another one over here somewhere. Yeah, it's like right there in the water. So this is actually a pretty nice spot as well. And you could breed dinos in here. It's also pretty deep. It's very similar to the one up front. So we'll have to pick one to actually use. See, this one is a level 60. But that 130 definitely would be nice. Let's go grab that one here pretty soon. So yeah, I might actually build on this side though, because it might be easier to wall this off. can just wall off a small section over here, and we can expand out. But yeah, you do get a lot of things that spawn in here. So you get megalodons, you get basilosaurs, Zephactinus. A lot of things will spawn in this area, and so you definitely want to make sure you have the big walls to block it off. So that's going to take a little bit of time to do, but I think I might do that. Just build over here. We'll have like a little base, and then when we want to leave, we can just go over to the blue obelisk and leave from there. So that makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, I might build, let's see, I'll have to find a good spot to build at, and I'll start building out just some walls and stuff. And what you really want to do is you want to establish a bed somewhere so that you can just kind of pop in, start off somewhere with a bed, and then do what you got to do, and then you can leave pretty quickly after that. So I'll build this out, and then we'll kind of get started with working on getting some water tames. Alright, so this is what we have so far. So we don't really need a roof at this point in time, but we do have some gates to protect us from anything that might spawn in on the island over here. So what I'm going to do now is just put things in here we don't need. That'll take up a lot of space. I did bring the baryonyx. We don't need any cold... Well, we might need cold weather gear. We'll see. Yeah. So I'm going to put everything in that I don't need. Yeah, I think I'll take some spear bolts. And probably just a mask and scuba tank. Should be it, I think. Couple of these. So we're gonna go for some water dinos, probably the basilosaur first, since we saw that one right there. So if you didn't find anything like close by, pretty much anywhere that has like shallow water, especially in here, there's a lot of different dinos in this little, I guess, rivers and coves. So you'll find things like basilosaurs and sharks, especially like up here, like in the northern part of this fire island. You'll find a lot of stuff up here. So you can just circle around and try to find specific dinos that you want. So if you want a basilosaur, they're in there. Now if you want to go deeper, the best place to go is going to be in this trench. So this entire trench on this side of the map, it actually goes pretty deep, and it actually goes underneath the water here. So it'll like, you can go underneath these little ledges and go pretty deep into this area. Oh, there's a turtle here. So yeah, if you are needing to find specific ones, there's lots of different ways you can get the water dinos. But I would recommend getting a basilosaur first before you go too deep, just because they will protect you from things like jellyfish and also other dinos. Oh, and I'm back. And yeah, so I thought I was recording, and I was not recording for a very long time. So I did get the basilosaur, and also got 2 high-level dolphins, which we'll look at in a little bit. But I'm actually in the middle of getting these 2 sharks. I did trap one of them. So I'm going to use these tranquilizer bolts, and these things you get from a recipe that you learn at a higher level. But what's nice about these is that they work pretty much like the tranq darts that you use with a long neck rifle. So let me try to knock this guy out. It's a little frantic, and I happen to see that I was not recording, and I realized that it's been a while since I actually did record. So yeah, we have a 145 Megalodon and a 130. One's a male, one's a female. And I was trying to get one of them captured, and the other one came in, so I just got that one captured. Oh, we gotta get it here. Let's run. So they're on mate booster right now. I think it's out. Looks like it's out. Yeah, I think it's out. Okay, so we'll have to get the other one now. Let's try to get it to run away. This is the same cove that we got the basilosaur in. So I was actually getting the basilosaur, and these things were chasing me around, and I was actually going to kill them, but then I saw that they were high level. So I wound up just trying to get them kited away. Got the basilosaur, Got 2 ichthyes, so 2 dolphins. And yeah, so this is where we're at now. It's really unfortunate that I didn't get the basilosaurs being caught, because there's not really much to that. All it is like a passive tame, and all I did was just go grab some meat and just fed it. So there's not really much to that. You just need to take out the stingrays that are around it in the beginning, and after that, then you should be fine. Alright, so we need to get this last guy down. I think his torpor is probably pretty high. We can fire off the baryonyx too, so we can just shoot and kind of kite it around. Oh, I think we got it. Alright, nice, we got that. So they're both down, so we have to get some meat for these two. But yeah, that's very unfortunate. I didn't get the capture the other ones that we got. So let me track these, and then we can go get some meat. There shouldn't be anything else in here that's going to be dangerous. Maybe a manta, but that's about it. Nothing's going to mess with these two. So we should be fine. Alright, it is dark, and we got some meat on us. So we got a bunch of prime. Had to kill a bronto and a low-level fairy. Let's grab this prime. And we're going to throw it on this guy, and then we're just going to hop in the water and feed the dinos. It's going to be cold in this water because it is nighttime now, so we have to definitely probably put on some gear. Yeah, I think it should be fine. We don't have the pants. Anything dangerous? I don't see anything dangerous. So let's give you a bunch of prime. Then let's give you the rest. Yeah, these things, they're pretty quick at taming. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and head back to the surface, and I'll probably just go wait for these things to tame up. Then we'll go check them out once they're done. Alright, so we have our megalodons. They're all tamed up. So I was just standing around looking at all the dinos here. And just in this little area right here, we have a 150 pteranodon, a 140 parasaur, and there's a 140 pteranodon around here somewhere. That's way over there, maybe. No. Then we have that 150 raptor over there on the beach. So you do get a lot of high-level dinos on this map. And of course the 2 megalodons that we just got. Let's have them come over here. So we do have a breeding pair of megalodons now. So I'm going to crop these up, and then we'll head back over to the base and look at them there. Alright, so we made it back onto the island, and we did get a few dinosaurs while we were over on the center map. And they were all pretty good levels, so we did see a decent amount of dinosaurs with good levels there, which is what you would expect from that map. So this is what I got off camera that I wasn't able to record, but I did get this ichthyosaurus, and I got a basilosaur, and I got another ichthyosaur. So both of these 2 ichthyes I was taming while I was taming the basilosaur. These are all 3 passive tames. So you just feed them meat, and you just have to keep up with them. So in order to grab these guys, you have to have flippers just to catch up with them, and then you put the meat down in the lower end slot there on your hotbar. That's pretty much it. There's not much to that. These guys you saw me actually in the process of taming when I started filming. So these are the 2 that we got. So I'll start with the ichthyosaurus. I'll probably use these guys for scouting. They're just good to get around the map pretty quick. They're kind of like having pteranodons. You can just get around somewhere. When you want to fight, you want to pop out something like a basilosaurus. So as far as the stats go, we do have, let's see, 37 health and 47 stamina from the male. And the female has really just the 48 weight and 44 damage. You're not really going to be fighting too much with these, so damage doesn't really matter. I guess you can have a little bit of damage if you wanted to, in case you have to like kill something small, or I guess kill for food. But the 48 weight's really good, and then for this one, the 37 health's pretty alright. It's not too bad. So we'll definitely combine these two and get at least the health and the weight on one of the offspring, and I think we'll be fine there. And then for the Basilosaurus, the biggest thing is we did get 38 damage, which is not terrible. I do have to go find a female one now, so I can probably look around in the coastlines on the center, or I can go to the coastlines here. On this map, you can go around Herbivore Island here, or anywhere on the coastline around here, and you can probably find a few Basilosaurs. They're not quite as common as they are on the center map. And then we have some Megalodons, which if you get a pack of these things, they do a serious amount of damage. So we have I think they both have 44 health. And the female has 48 damage. So we have 44 health and 48 damage. And then the male just brings the 44 health and then the 50 weight, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's okay. So they do have the same stats as far as stamina and health go. It's just the weight and damage is what we need to get on to an offspring. So this should be a pretty straightforward breeding for these two. If I can find a better version with a higher health, I would go for that. But the health and damage on these things is not that bad. But yeah, these are the 5 that we got, and I guess all I need to do now is just grab another Basilosaur, and then we should be ready to start breeding these things. And once we breed them and have a couple of imprinted ones, we could probably just go get a couple of saddles, and then we could head on to the water caves pretty soon. So you do need to get the water caves. There's 2 water caves on the island map, and I believe one has an artifact for the Megapithecus and the other one's for the dragon. In order to do those 2 bosses, we do need to go to the water caves several times, and we'll get to that point pretty soon. So that's going to be it for this episode. We did go out and get our bases established on Scorched Earth and on the center, which the Scorched Earth one we already had the resources for. The center, we still need to do a little bit more work, but we can get that going pretty quickly. So we'll do that probably off camera, because it's going to be pretty boring to watch that. And we also did get some water dinos, which are going to be very important. And then, like I said before, we do need to get another Basilosaur, and then we can start breeding everything and having some ready for us to go get some artifacts. And this also lets us go out and get some deep sea dinos now. And the biggest one's really going to be the Mosasaur. And I guess the Chastosaurus would be pretty fun to have, since you can build a base on it. So it'd be a good place to spawn in underwater. But yeah, that's going to be it. So I thank you for watching, appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.